What's up, everybody? Welcome back to My Twisted Life and TV. I'm Poetry. You are here for another recap and review of Ready to Love. This is season 5, episode 11, I believe. A reason, a season, or a lifetime. Okay, y'all. I called it, but I didn't call it because I didn't know what the specific issue was. But I kept sensing something was wrong with Shiloh just because of the words, the choice that Phil would use when talking about her. I was like, something ain't right. What is it that we not seeing? And this particular episode laid it all out there. See, I knew when they were showing y'all those clips and those trailers and everybody was coming back to me telling me, feel foul. Y'all know I don't watch the teasers. Y'all know I don't watch the clips and the previews. So I didn't know what had really went on. But I was like, feel foul. Tell me about it. What did y'all say Phil was foul about? And I just had a sense in me. A feeling, a vibration that he wasn't. It wasn't because Phil is one of the characters that I like. He happened to be one of the only men that I actually like on this show. I still was rooting for Naeem, though. I still was rooting for Naeem. But still, Phil was like the top of the men that I was rooting for. So I was like, well, maybe I'm just biased, you know. Maybe I'm seeing something in Phil that I want to see and not what is actually there. Okay. This episode right here told me a lot about Shiloh. Okay, so let's get started. Let's get right into it. All right, so it's Ladies Week. We head into the Lady Lounge to get our assignment for the week. And this time we are introducing the fellas to the ladies' families. Y'all know I hate these episodes. And from my understanding, next week is the same thing. Next week is the finale, if you did not know. Next week is the finale episode. But next week, the men are inviting the ladies to their homes. Okay. Aisha felt that this was already going to be trouble. It's going to be trouble, because her family is supposedly off the chain. Now, Tommy did let them know, you get to choose which family members that you want to meet these people. I found it very interesting that Sydney, Aisha, is it just Sydney and Aisha? Sydney, Aisha, and Mumin, they all chose to have these people meet their parents. I found that strange to me. You don't know these people from a can of paint. And as Mumin was saying, meeting the parents is something serious. From what we know, it's only been 2 months. It's barely been 2 months that you've known these people. I would not have had them meet my parents. Maybe a sister, brother, or cousin, but not my parents in this situation. And Aisha flew her damn parents in from New York. Her mom in from New York. Girl, no, that's too much for me. That's too much for me. Now, I was going to mention this later on in the review, but I'm going to go ahead and mention it now while I'm thinking about it. Myself and Sabrina was on a chat. I can't remember whose channel we was on. We was in a chat session. I think it was Talisa's. I think it was Talisa Ray's chat. And we just had like a offside commentary going on between me and her. And we was talking about, I think, Mumin at the time. And Sabrina mentioned that at the time that they went to the retreat, they had only been filming 5 weeks, y'all. And to see that level of intentional emotional outbursts from some of these people, I don't understand it at the 5-week period. That's why I said a lot of these people have already smashed and dashed. That's why I'm saying that. In 5 weeks, y'all was all that into somebody. That's why I think it also was easy for Aisha, Dante, and Phil to pick up someone new, because really you've only known this other person a little over a month. Well, at this particular stage we at right now, it's almost 2 months. It's not a full 2 months, almost 2 months that these people have known each other. Okay, so you wouldn't be meeting my mom and my daddy. Nope, not at all. No way, no how. No. So Sydney is going to introduce Phil to her parents, who apparently have never been to her place before. Her mom was like, oh my God, Sydney, I love your place. Oh my goodness, honey, it's just beautiful. Now, I know you lying. Sydney and her mama are all over Instagram together. You cannot make me believe that her parents or shocked to see her home. Unless this is a staged home that she chose for the purpose of this show. Her and her mama are thick as thieves. They thick as thieves. Matter of fact, Sydney is really close to her entire family. There is no way that they're going to come into this home acting like they ain't never seen it before. Like I said, unless she moved into this house specifically for the show, so she could be in the DC area. That's the only way I could see it. Only way I could see it. Anywho, her Papa Juan was sitting there looking like, why the heck am I here? Okay, you don't even know this dude for real. And she is just now explaining to them about her being on this dating show, right? And Papa Juan is like, you mean you tell me you had to kiss all these men? All 10 of these men? And he like, I don't want my baby out here being no hoe. I don't want her out here being no hoe, okay? So like I said, Aisha, she flew her mother and her brother down from New York City just to be here. She wants them to meet Dante. You just hooked up with Dante 2 weeks ago. And you flying your mama down to meet this man? Anyway, Aisha tells them she wants them to ask him the hard question. Sydney tells her parents, don't be extra, okay? But her mama Gabby, she like, you know what? I'm going to be asking him about his intentions. I'm going to do that, okay? So don't be trying to shush me and nothing like that. If you've been on, because I've been nosy and researching people. If you've been on Sydney's mother's Instagram, Sydney's mama is a live wire baby. She is live wire. She's probably somebody that I could kick it with, you know, if I ever met her in real life. She's live like that. Anywho, Phil expressed that he wanted to also meet Shiloh's family because his interest is growing with Sydney. But there's something about Shiloh's mannerisms that's kind of throwing him out. So he want to try to gauge her connection to her family to see what he could draw from this. So he's saying, you know, for me to be true to myself, I'm going to keep going with this process. I'm going to keep my options open. So I want to meet both of their families. That's where Phil is at this point. So he came through the door. He bearing flowers. He had flowers for Sydney. He had flowers for Mama Gabby. He had some liquor for Pops, you know. Phil looked like he went to a whole florist for his flowers. I mean, it was a big open up arrangements of flowers. While Dante swept by Publix and picked up a little something on the side, a little bouquet. I thought was for Aisha, but then when he saw her mama, he was like, you know what, let me go ahead and get you some her mama instead. That's how I was picking it up from Dante. I mean, because he didn't bring nothing for Aisha. Nothing at all. He couldn't even give her a single rose or nothing. That bouquet was not for Aisha's mama. You can't make me believe that. Anyway, it's the thought that counts, right? It's the thought that counts. Because I wouldn't even tripped off of the size of that bouquet if they hadn't shown the sets of flowers that Phil had got for Sydney's mom and for Sydney. So Dante gave the flowers to her mom. Didn't give Aisha nothing but a hug and a peck on the cheek, and gave the brother a handshake, dap it up. You know what I'm saying? Of course, they wanted to get into Dante's business about his baby's mamas. It's a big topic. You got 3 kids with 3 baby mamas. To be honest, y'all, it's not that uncommon. Not in this day and age. Why y'all still acting like y'all shocked? It's so many doggone people out here with a bunch of kids from a bunch of baby mamas and a bunch of baby daddies, and y'all still acting shocked and brand new about that? Okay, anywho, the brother, I say, he's like, you know what? We ain't got to worry about nobody trying to roll up on my sister, right? In other words, we fight. That's what he's trying to tell him. Don't let the calm nature fool you, bro. I seem like I'm not, about that life, but I can get about it when it comes to my sister. That's what I was gathering. Anywho, back over Sydney, Mama Gabby, she all in Phil's pockets. All in his pockets. She letting him know without saying these exact words. My baby needs to be financially taken care of. That's what she said. She asked him, did he have a savings account? Now, I don't know why a savings account would be a good measurement, but okay, that's what she started. I mean, I would have asked what you do for a living, since they obviously don't know nothing about him. What you do for a living? How about, do you have any investments? You own any real property? What's your debt to income ratio? If we're going to dig into your pockets like that. But a savings account? Okay. All right, Gabby. Whatever. And then Sydney just got super emotional. I didn't understand it. She started crying. Like it was out of the norm for her parents to want the best out of life for her, to want a good life for her, to want somebody to love and take care of her. She just started bawling. I was like, this is so out of place, and she was like, I really just started crying. Sydney, there was no need. None, girl. None. It wasn't something that we missed the editing that made them tears come, because it couldn't have been the fact that I want my daughter to have the best life. She's a beautiful person. And Sydney like, oh my God, I'd never heard my mama say this before. That's how she was reacting. Like, girl, bad. Anyway, after this meetup, Phil says he is learning more and more about Sydney. It's drawing him closer and closer to her. But, like I said, he's ready to meet Shiloh's family next. The energy that he said he sees between Shiloh and her family is very important to him. Same way he did with Sydney and her parents. He likes to see that family bond, that family connection. Her parents inside, they all in with Phil. They all in. And I was like, I wonder how they gonna feel about Frank, because he up next. He's coming to meet the family as well. Well, in the meantime, in between time, Frank is over there at Mumin's. He going to meet her daddy, her uncle, and her sister, right? Before I go any further, I was tired of these dates not eating any food. I mean, I saw Dante and Aisha eating a salad, but when they got ready to get up from the table and leave and walk away, the table was still full of food. Why the hell are they playing with food like that? Don't be playing with your food. That food look good too. Don't be playing with your food like that. Anywho, her baba, which is her father, he was giving her praises and blessings. Like, the child just said she's about to get married. She got a baby due in 9 months. That's how daddy was. Oh, shoot. That's how daddy was acting, right? Like, this day has finally come. It has finally come. Uncle Shay, that was his name. Uncle Shay is like, y'all seem to be clicking over here. Y'all vibing. I feel that. And they like the fact that, he has deep African roots. His family is from Ghana. He's the first American born child of the family. Mumin's family is from Cameroon. A lot of these people on this show this season don't have parents that are originally from America. I was surprised about that as well. Naeem's mother, I forgot where she's from, but it's not originally American either. Phil's parents are Haitian. Zadia, majority of them, Aisha. I was like, that's interesting. Okay, so back to the back. So Uncle Shay basically asked him, like I said, I know y'all clicking, I know y'all vibing, yada yada this, yada yada that, but what I need to know is how many hoes you had in different area codes. That's really what he said. He didn't say those words, but that's what he actually meant, right? So Baba was like, don't be playing with my daughter. Don't play with my doggone daughter. Don't waste her time. If you're looking for adventure time is over there on another channel. It ain't over here. Okay, that's what Baba was saying. And when sister was like, he lost me. As soon as he said that you wasn't the number one, you wasn't the only one, he lost me. And daddy was like, yeah, I don't even know why he let that fly out his mouth. I don't even know why he did it. So they was feeling some kind of way about Frank at first until Uncle Shay brought them back to reality. She on a dating show. He is doing what he is supposed to do. And then, Baba was like, you know what? Yeah, at least he being honest about it. At least he being honest. And Mumin can respect that. She, I guess because seem like all these family members are just now finding out they're on a dating show. He didn't realize that just last week, Mumin had another perspective. Is that the right word? Another option as well in Walter. You know what I'm saying? How would you have felt that you was going to meet another person besides Frank? Well, how would you be looking at your daughter? So, yeah, to be sitting here judging Frank about having other options while he on a dating show, they said, you know what? You right. Even the sister came back around and said, I did kind of like him a little bit. I liked him a little scoshy day. He all right. You know what I'm saying? He's not misleading her by keeping her in the dark. And they wanted to make sure that was clear. Every time that Frank comes on screen, they want to make sure that Frank is showing that he's clearly telling Mumin and clearly telling Sydney what is going on in his mind, in his heart, or whatever, in regards to the other person. And then they always follow with the fact that Phil ain't doing it. Phil still wants to go through the process. Frank is still going through the process too, but Frank is letting both of them know where they stand. Now, from what I've seen before, Phil was honest with Sydney about how he was rolling or rocking with Shiloh. But when it came to Shiloh, Frank is kind of Phil is kind of hush on his attraction and how much it's building for Sydney. Because again, he don't want to scare Shiloh off. That's pretty much what it is. What the hell? Y'all heard all this knocking and bumping? I told y'all, the walls here are thin. I got my damn mouth. The walls are thin. I'm surprised you can't hear the ducks quacking outside. They look like they sleep right now. It's a bunch of damn ducks out there. Okay, so, yeah, moving on. Curveball. Phil and Shiloh got into an argument. They went out to a bar the night before. And I was like, okay, here we go with the bullshit. Is this what everybody been telling me about? Is what everybody been telling me the Phil full of fuck shit? What's going on? What we about to learn about Phil? What we about to learn, right? Apparently, it had to be really bad because Shiloh felt the need to have Tommy come and mediate for them. They having a failure to communicate. And I was like, this is why they need an actual therapist on staff. This is what I said before. Tommy can't mediate shit for me. Tommy's not a therapist. Tommy's not a counselor. Tommy is a comedian. He's a comedian with a lot of opinions. Opinions just like me. You may listen to my opinion about what I'm saying, what I'm doing, what I'm thinking. I may hit the nose on the head on the nail. I may hit the points every once in a while. But I'm not a professional, in my opinion, okay? I'm not a professional as far as coaching styles when dealing with relationships. I would not be taking deep-seated advice from Tommy. It's like, what, Uncle Tommy, Cousin Tommy? He was Cousin Tommy. Cousin Tommy? Yeah, I'd probably be like taking him advice as like maybe from a friend, but not something that seems to be this serious in nature based off of what's going on, right? Plus, Tommy seemed a lot of one-sided. A lot of times. So they sit down with Tommy. Shiloh comes in first, and she was like, basically she had a rough night, and he was like, you're looking good. She was like, she's already setting the tone that she's in a fucked up headspace. That's what she's setting the tone for, and she wants Tommy to know it. Okay, now before I go any further, remember, on top of her being a personal trainer, she's a relationship and intimacy coach. You can't tell that from what is about to happen in this season, in this episode. Okay, so Phil walks in. He does not look at Shiloh at all. He comes in, he shakes Tommy's hand, and then he sits opposite of her without engaging with her at all. She looks over him, had that look like, oh, we not speaking now? You can't say hi? That's exactly how she looked at him, right? Apparently they had just parted ways just a few hours earlier, okay? So Tommy is like, what's up? What's going down? I need to know the tea, right? Phil tells us that the entire argument that they had was about him making his choice. But things got out of control. How, Sway? How did you deciding whether or not you want to be with her or be with Sydney or not turn into something that spiraled out of control? So Tommy said, I'm going to give Shiloh the floor. Go ahead, sis. Tell me what happened. She's like, no, actually, Tommy, I want to hear from Phil first. What that told me is that argumentation is seated inside of her. And she needed Phil's words to water that seed so she could burst and erupt onto the scene, okay? Instead of stating her truth, she wanted to see what Phil was going to say and see what he was going to share as well, right? And I feel that she did this for one or two reasons. She wanted to be able to counter what he was saying, or to see what he withholds to make it seem like he's not being fully transparent, okay? And it was the latter. Because as soon as Phil gave his modified version of events, because that's what Phil does, he tries to, what's the word I want to use, a term I want to use, be very cautious with his words to not offend. Okay, that's what Phil does. I noticed that he does it with Aisha. You know, he's a listener. I noticed that with him, but he tries to be very cautious with his words. So he chose to modify the story. And so Tommy was like, so you want to add to it? She was like, I sure do. Yeah. Sis, you could have gave your point of view the first time you asked. Why did you have to wait on Phil to say it? Why did you have to wait on Phil to say anything? You could have been telling Tommy what was going on from the giddy up. You know what I'm saying? Put your story out there on the table. So basically, Phil was still telling her, I'm not ready to make a choice right now. I'm still trying to go through this process and see where this takes me. And she wants something more definitive from him, because back at the retreat, she told him, I choose you. And what he did was say, that's sweet, and gave her a peck on the lips. Okay, first she was fine with that. She was happy with that. She was giddy with that. And then she went home and thought about it. And I'm going to tell you why I don't think that she just thought about it. She's very connected with the Brown Girl crew. And I only know this just because, like I said, there's a few of these people that I follow, right? Looking at certain comments on certain people's Instagram, how they respond to certain people, it let me know that the Brown Girl crew was caping for her, riding for her. And psychologically, I think that one of two of those three, y'all know which two I'm talking about, may have encouraged her to get the answers that you need. Don't let him play you like that. You know what I'm saying? That's how I took it. That's my interpretation. I don't know if there's any truth to that. That's just me reading into things, okay? But I have been able to read very well. That's what I'm saying, okay? So she said she went home, and after a while, she was happy about it at first, but when she went home and she thought about it, then she got mad. Sound like peer pressure to me. Then you got mad. First she was happy and giddy that he gave you a little peck on the cheek and was like, oh, that's progress. And now you're mad after you go home. Like I said, they had been there 5 or 6 weeks at that time, at the time of the retreat. And y'all got this much emotion built up with one another that a verbal spar breaks out in the club. Like I say, I know we on episode 11, but it hasn't been actual 11 weeks have not passed. We barely under 2 months, right? And that's why when you go back to it now and you think of when Sydney and Sean came into the game, and we were like, man, we halfway through the show. Why they just not showed up? It had only been like a few days, about a week or so, when Sydney and Sean actually entered into the show. It just, the way the editing happens, it made us think it was longer time had passed. Okay, so Shiloh said, if you would have just have told me what I wanted to hear, been direct about it, it could have eliminated this whole situation. So using deductive reasoning, she got an answer. So Tommy brings up the fact, was there liquor involved? And she said, yes, we had a few drinks before. And Phil said, I only had one shot. Okay. I told y'all, be listening to the words that be coming out of his mouth. He said, I only had one shot. She didn't say, I had one shot too. But she said, we had been drinking before. He said, no, I had one shot. By him making that statement, that is clarifying to him, I was not drinking like she was drinking. What that says to me, she was white boy wasted. She was white boy wasted. And Shiloh is one of them emotional drunks. Okay, the ones who drink and just start crying and just start asking random questions. Do you love me? I love you so much. Oh my God, do you not care for me? You don't really like me much, do you? That's what I see. That's what I heard from the emotional drunks, right? She said, when she gathered herself and she realized how stupid she was making herself look, I'm adding in words, okay? But she tried to walk away. She needed space. And Tommy was like, well, where's she going? I just needed space. I needed space for me. And he grabbed her, picked her up. Now, at this point, it made it seem like he was manhandling her, the way that she was describing this. But in my mind, I just envisioned a sloppy, drunk-ass, emotional woman getting up, stumbling away, making a scene or what have you. He attempts to calm her down, attempts to calm the situation, bring down the embarrassment to get her drunk ass in the car. That's what I took from that conversation before we got any further discussion. And as somebody that doesn't drink, I've had to do that a lot with people, okay? But like I said, I don't know if that was the truth, but that was the vibe I was getting at this point, just from this conversation. I was not sympathizing with Shiloh at all. And like I said, maybe it's because I kept hearing the verbal clues that kept leading up to this moment. It's like I could be wrong, but I don't think I am. I could be wrong, but I don't think I am, right? So in turn, she says that she was pissed, right? And she needed to get away from him. This is basically the breakdown of the scenarios. She was pissed. She needed to get the fuck away from him. I've been there too. Don't touch me. Don't talk to me. Don't fuck with me, right? Okay. It's 5 a.m. She been drinking. So she is in that headspace. I will find my own way home. Fuck you and feed you grits. That's the headspace I was picking up from her, right? And Phil is in the headspace like, I know you mad. I know you tripping. But it's 5 a.m. and you've been drinking. And I'm not going to let you go walk off to God knows where. And you get your drunk ass in some doggone trouble. So I'm going to help you get your drunk ass in the car. That's how I interpret it, okay? So from this, what I could say is, leave her the fuck alone, Phil. Leave her the fuck alone. She has a lot of emotional baggage, and you cannot be her Captain Saver, bruh. Leave her alone. That's not a burden that you want to carry. Remember, I said in previous episodes that I thought Aisha had too much emotional baggage for Phil. It wasn't the baby thing really that separated them. There was a lot of just emotional baggage that I don't think that he should have been carrying. And that's why I felt that he should not be with Aisha. Doubly times for Shiloh. No, sir. No, ma'am, Pam. It was something Aisha posted up. I'm not sure what happened between her and Phil, but Aisha says on her Instagram, me and Phil got closure. This is a good man. He's always been a protector. I didn't know what that was about. I didn't know what, but that was one of the recent posts she made, that they finally got closure. Maybe they hadn't got closure. Maybe they hadn't ended how things were supposed to end between them. You know what I'm saying? They moved on to other people and they had never came back to each other and say, you know what, it's not going to work between us. But Aisha put up their post like, Phil is a good man. You know, she's caping for him. Okay. So Tommy says that the conversation that they had should not have happened at that time. 4:30, 5 o'clock in the morning at a bar where liquor is involved. The energy that y'all was sitting in, y'all should not have had that conversation at that time. So where do we go from here at this time? Where do we go from here, my love? Do we walk away or do we keep on trying after the love is gone? If y'all know who sing that song, drop it down in the comment section. I haven't did this in a long time. I will give y'all a virtual mic, bam, down in the comment section if y'all know who sings that song. Where do we go from here? And I'm singing it almost on cue, so don't be acting like you don't know the words and stuff, because I'm singing it off key and stuff. Anywho, Tommy picked up on what I picked up on. Phil had not made eye contact with Shiloh the entire time he had been sitting there. Her energy was saying to me, I am going to guilt you into choosing me, okay? And if I can't guilt you, I'm going to make you feel guilty about hurting me. I need to be compensated for my hurt, since you're not choosing me right now when I want you to. Tommy tried to get them to look at each other. I don't know if this was editing. For her, it was easy to look at him. For him, not so much, okay? And then he asked that y'all still like each other. And Phil was like, Okay, it seemed like Shiloh was going to answer at first, but since he didn't, she held her tongue too. Again, she waits on Phil to respond before she actually gives her response. Tommy tells them that there are still feelings there, that they shouldn't walk away this quickly. And I'm saying, Phil, walk away. Walk the fuck away, okay? Don't do it. Don't get involved in this relationship. Sydney may not be the one. And I think I have some little tea on them at the end, but you know, I think they hooked up for a little bit after the show, but I'm not sure if they stayed together, put it like that. Because no, she became bae to him. Okay, so anyway, I don't think that Sydney is the one either, for real, for Phil either. But Shiloh definitely isn't. No, sir. Especially like if this is how we starting off, I guarantee you it will continue to be rough. She need to call Tyrone. Call him. You know, Crazy Eyes. That was his name. It was Tyrone. And tell him, come on, get her out this shit. Okay? I think she better call Tyrone. Call him. Because her and Phil are done. Tyrone and Dunn don't rhyme, but they both end O-N-E, so fuck it, that's how I did it. Whatever. Call Tyrone, girl. That's who you should have been with. You crazy, just like crazy ass Tyrone was. Both of y'all have the same mental hang-ups. You know, normally I say two broke people shouldn't be together. I still say that. But he was your better option. He was your better option. Okay, so anywho, Phil was like, you know what? I'm trying to extend an olive branch to her. But I feel like she's trying to attack my character. Because the way she tried to present that to us and present that to Tommy was that he was physically assaulting her. I was like, do y'all think Shiloh has to be concerned about her physical safety? Or did y'all agree with me that Phil has to be concerned about her not being emotionally stable when liquor is involved? Or not being emotionally stable, period, right? They answered that for us a little later on. Hell, because Shiloh was like, nah, I don't think I need to get back with him. This is it. I didn't understand the purpose of talking to Tommy about it. He basically said, y'all need to get over y'all hurt feelings because there's feelings that y'all have between each other and see if y'all can work it out. And both of them are ready to call it quits. Phil more so than her. Okay, because again, Sydney gonna move how she think Phil gonna move. So, it's interesting though that Phil meets the parents. Frank meets the sister. Frank don't get to meet Sydney parents. Sydney is more into Phil. That's all that is really saying. All of a sudden, Frank ain't giving her goosebumps no more like he used to. That's because Phil is making her nether regions, tingle down there, right? That's from what I can see. Sydney enjoys being the aggressor in the relationship. She plays coy, like court me, chase me and everything, want me. But with Phil, she had to work with him a little bit to get him to open up to her. Frank came in with the gusto, so he pounced from the beginning. It was too easy for him, or with him, okay? So she wanted her parents to be easy on Phil because she don't want to scare him off. But she want her sister to turn Frank up, go in. Now, she don't trust Frank. That's what that is. She don't trust Frank. Remember the Rolodex that she had of questions, the Rolodex of questions she had for the ex? Her friends already went in on Frank too. And now she wants her sister to go in Frank some more. She trying to catch him slipping. She trying to catch him slipping on his words. So she could have a real reason other than that she attracted to Phil to back out of the Frank situation. That's what's going on with Sydney. Because the sister actually liked Frank. And when she was in the deliberation, she was explaining, she was like, everybody loved Frank. As if she was kind of annoyed that everybody liked Frank. Because she can't find a real reason to say, I don't want to be with him. Because she don't want to say she don't want to be with him because she attracted to Phil. She does not want to be looked at as the bad girl. Okay. So again, he gets asked about who else is on his list, and as if Sydney not feeling somebody else too. Okay, how you gonna have stipulations on Frank and you doing the same doggone thing? At first I was thinking my final three was gonna be Mumin and Frank, Sabrina and Walter, and Aisha and Dante. I didn't think that Phil was gonna choose anybody or move forward with any woman, but after this episode, I changed my mind. It's gonna be Phil and Sydney, Sabrina and Walter, and Aisha and Dante. I think that Frank is going to choose Sydney, but Sydney is going to choose Phil. So that's going to leave Mumin out there on her own, not connecting with Frank at all. That's what I'm thinking. I don't think any of them going to last. it was the body language too with Frank, with Sydney. You know, as they were going out the door, she gave Frank the side mouth kiss. No real hug, just a cup on the back of the head. But with Phil, she was ready to fuck him going out the door. You know, fuck him in the hallway. As if they already smashing. That's what I was getting from them. Okay, so it's deliberations. And I was like, we still voting somebody off at this point? We basically got 2 couples and a 4-way going here, you know, with Mumin, who ain't got no other options. So if Frank goes, there would be no reason for Mumin to be here. If Phil goes, which I doubt that was going to happen, there would be no reason for Shiloh to be there. But anywho, I think that Shiloh in this moment is going to either bow out, or she's going to bow. This is the season of everybody quitting. Okay. But I think she's going to be trying to bring Phil down with her in the process. At this point, I realized Phil did not meet Shiloh's family at all. She says in deliberations that she didn't feel comfortable with him meeting the family. Because again, after she thought about what happened, she was first all happy about it, but after she thought about what happened, she didn't feel comfortable with him. So Tommy's like, did you feel like he was trying to harm you, you know? And she was like, yes. So Tommy said, you think he was trying to harm you? Well, not physically, but emotionally. She said her space felt violated. So she decided that he didn't need to meet her parents. It's kind of funny when I look at some of the debates that you guys have. Because like I said, I haven't been watching recaps and reviews yet, but I've been catching some of these debates. When we had the Zadia and Naeem situation, we were telling him to watch for those red flags. And now we have the Sydney in situation with Phil. And you have Shiloh saying that he tried to harm me. That was the first thing. Okay, then she changed and said he tried to emotionally harm her. And Sydney's like, I ain't never seen that with him. He's never acted that way with me. Now remember, that's the same thing that Naeem said about Zadia, but we tore Naeem a new asshole about it. And I'm going to tell you why. At least this is why for me. Naeem sat there and said that he witnessed Zadia and the behavior that everybody else was talking about. She had become a repeat offender with that behavior. He was just chosen to see past that and look at her potential because she had not directed any of that behavior to him. With Sydney and everybody else in that doggone room, Phil has expressed himself as somebody who could be trusted, somebody who is a protector. So this description of what Shiloh is giving about somebody who's trying to intentionally harm her emotionally doesn't fit his character. So when she says, I don't get that from him, I can get why we have, it seems almost like a double standard when we're dealing with somebody not taking the opinion of somebody who's saying they're being harmed, and we like, I don't get that, I don't feel that. That's, to me, that's the difference, because Naeem actually witnessed it. He acknowledged it. He just chose to ignore it. Okay. But yeah, she asked Shiloh, is it all right if I talk to Phil about this? And Shiloh was like, have at it, do what you want to do. When she said that, I knew she was leaving. That if I didn't know it before, that solidified it for me right there, right? So Tommy decided we're not going to have an elimination. I was like, what we finna have one for anyway, right? It didn't make sense to have one anyway. We all know that Shiloh not sticking around. He wanted Shiloh and Phil to meet up. Shiloh said Phil did extend me the courtesy of a conversation. And they kept putting the camera on Sydney as if she was going to be upset about the fact that Phil wanted to sit down and talk to this woman. That's the type of person Phil is. That's what she was trying to explain. That is the person that he is. It's not like he gonna cause her some type of harm of some sort, or unintentionally hurt her and still not come back and try to resolve the matter, because that ain't the type of person that Phil has presented himself to be. Anyway, Phil and Shiloh had the meet up. She was a bit overdressed for the occasion, y'all. She put on that tight ass prom dress because she wanted him to see what he was gonna be missing out on. That's all that it was. Remember, intimacy is one of her love languages. So to have a physical attraction to her, she has to exude that. So he has to salivate and want that. He said, you look nice. Okay, again, he did not attempt to physically greet her. He still wasn't making eye contact with her initially. He came and said he wanted to extend her an apology, for his violation of touching her when she didn't want to be touched. But he wanted to explain the reason why he did it. He told us that he thought that he should have taken more of a lead to prevent the conversation from even turning into an argument and escalating to that point. Sometimes, bro, there's nothing that you could do. When you have somebody that's that emotionally broken, that's that fueled by trauma, there's nothing that you could do in that situation. No matter which way you turn, you're going to end up in the same destination. Okay, so anywho, he said he'd be reaching out to her. She wasn't ready to talk to him until right now. So her emotions are all pent up. They about as pent up as her body is in that damn prom dress. And she didn't even look like she was open for conversation. For real. To me, it seemed like she only wanted to be here in this place right now to put blame on him, to make him feel guilty, to make him feel ashamed for the way that she feels on the inside. She's not owning her own emotions, Miss Relationship Coach, okay? So she started off saying that she was hurt and she was angry. Okay, for me, she then deflected all of her past wounds and past traumas onto Phil. She was trying to make him feel responsible for all the reasons that she hasn't healed and whatever happened in her life. Now remember, he said that she has not really been that open. She wants everybody's supposed to be vulnerable. She allows him to be vulnerable, but she really wasn't that to him. Remember I pointed that out before? And she kept saying in this whole conversation, you don't know me. You don't know what I've been through. That's what he was talking about. You have not opened up and been vulnerable with me. So how can I know? How can I know what you've been through? How can I know what you're going through? You still ain't even telling me in this moment. Okay. But she said, you don't know me. You don't know what I've been through. So when I say don't touch me, don't touch me. Okay. He says, look, I made a judgment call on what I thought was in your best interest. She's straight up. What she say? You don't know what I know what's my best interest. You don't know what my best interest is. Something like that nature, right? When he said it was in her best interest, I tell you, it kept making me think she was fucked up and wilding out. That's all I got from that. She was fucked up and wilding out, right? Like I said, she says she knows what's in the best interest for herself. If she had walked her ass down a dark alley, down a dark street, it didn't even have to be dark. At 5 o'clock in the fucking morning, drunk, extra damn emotional, and somebody would have hurt her, said something to her, he would have been to blame for that shit too. She is hurt. I don't know who hurt you, Shiloh, but I know it wasn't Phil. He started to explain what he was thinking in the moment. And she said, I don't care about your reasons anymore. You never cared about his reasons. Best believe that came, this energy came from everybody else giving him a glowing review, when it was in the deliberations. And the fact that Sydney feels so connected to him that she could talk to him about her, that's all that is. That's all that was. That's what all that rage built up from. How you still so mad at this point? If you so red with rage that you say you could understand his point of view, whether you agree with it or not, but understand it, and you still this upset, this enraged, Shiloh, baby girl, you need therapy. She wasn't trying to understand. She really just wanted him to be wrong. Not even admit he was wrong. Just be wrong. Because he said, I apologize. She cut that shit too. She cut it short. You know what I'm saying? She needed to feel empowered in this moment, in her wrong. Okay? And for him to sit here and say that he felt she needed to be saved takes away her empowered feelings, her strength. It weakens her strength mode, because she feels that she is mentally strong. She even said that she felt he was trying to emotionally hurt her. Girl, bye. I'm not co-signing on the emotional trauma. I'm not about to negate the emotional trauma that you possibly had been dealing with in your previous life, but Phil didn't cause that shit. And this right here ain't emotional trauma right now. You said there was something that triggered you. She sounded like she's been an abuse victim before. Somebody grabbing up on her and then they just set her off. The alcohol helped elevate that. The heightened emotions helped elevate that. If he had reached out and touched her skin, she would have flipped the fuck out on him. Did she tell you that he could have followed her down the damn alley? You could just walk behind me. And then he said, that's some areas of town I really didn't even want to be in. And you want me to follow you down a damn dark ass alley? No, ma'am. What you should have done is not walk your ass down that dark ass alley. Have him call you an Uber, ride home in another motherfucking car. You know, something like that. But to walk off in DC streets down the fucking, girl, you crazy. You crazy. Walk away, Phil, and don't look back. Okay. What I say? I thought Aisha had too much emotional baggage. Like I said, Shiloh even got more baggage because she got rage and insecurity up in hers, and she got a lock and key on it, like she trying to hold on to it. She ain't trying to release it. Okay. She's putting 20 on 10 at this point. Phil, like you said, there's nothing else you could do. There's nothing else you could say to that. No point either. There's no point either. Sorry can't even fix this. Sorry can't fix it because she needs someone to blame. She needs somebody to blame her past traumas on. And right now, that person is you. That's who it is. Tommy is confused as I am, okay? Because she let him know that she finna bow out. And he was like, so he trying to clarify, did he hurt you? Felt that he was hurting you? He tried to hurt you? She said, yes, I felt he intentionally hurted me emotionally. Her and Crazy Tyrone was the perfect match. They was the better match. Now we know why Shiloh is single. Now we know. That is the end of this recap review, y'all. I know I talked a lot again. I want to thank y'all for watching. Thank y'all for being here. Like, comment, share, subscribe. Make sure you join the channel. That way you can join. You get early access to different videos. This video is going to be up for my members first, and then the following hour later, ad free for the members, and then following later all the other subscribers, you'll be able to see it as well. Hit the join button down there. It's 2 different membership levels. Like I said, you get some early access to all the reviews that's starting this year. And I'll see you in the next video. Money Heist is coming up next. All right, peace.